Hi, it's Niall McGill here, and today I'm going to talk to you about quite a simple thing, the first movement in the golf swing, and it's a movement that is so important to get right. We know now with modern equipment through FlightScope TrackMan and other machines like this, how important the club face is in controlling the initial direction that the golf ball flies. Okay, so we know that it's the face that sends it and the swing path that bends it as to the curvature in the ball flight. So in the first movement away from the golf ball, what we want to try to do is keep the club face as neutral as possible. And this is going back to what we used to talk about, a one-piece takeaway. Now really, this is the feeling that we want. We want to be very careful not to have any excessive wrist action or rolling open or hooding under of the face on the first movement away from the golf ball. Because if we do that, it's going to be very, very difficult to get that club face back at impact in a neutral and consistent way. So once you set up, let's really focus on first movement. Just a little rock away with shoulders and arms. What you'll see if I stand side on here is that the arms in that initial movement remain the same distance from the body. When we introduce excessive wrist action and forearm roll, what you'll notice is that my club and my arms move away from the body and the club head actually starts to work to the inside. This is something I'll often see a player who, I see players, I mustn't get on the inside, I mustn't get on the inside. And what they do is they actually move the arms away, forcing the arms to rotate, and the club actually ends up behind, and there's disconnect. That disconnect makes it very difficult for you to get the club consistently back onto the golf ball. So when you're practicing, let's really focus on the first movement, just being a rock with the shoulders and the arms. As we begin to build the swing from there, the momentum and the weight of the club head begins to create the wrist hinge. We don't want this to be a conscious hinging. We want this to happen through the movement in the swing. So let's focus again. First movement away from the ball. Everything moves together. We do not want any unnecessary movement. If you look at the top players, there's no flapping about with the arms and no unnecessary movement in the golf swing. Even players with quirky swings, everything tends to work when it needs to, and there's no excessive movement that's not required. So if I just set up once again, so shoulders, arms move away as one. We then continue that into a full rotation. So if I hit a couple of shots here for you, I like to set up, I like to actually just have one little practice movement. That helps me get the feeling of the movement away. It also prevents my first movement from snatching, which again is going to cause the wrists to move a little bit too much. So in the setup, we move everything away together, nice central pivot. We work through, we hold the finish. Holding the finish is a very important one as well to help you create consistency in the movement. You have better balance when you're able to hold the finish of the swing. So once again, I set up, just rock, shoulders and arms, little practice movement, and then set up to ball. Repeat, hold finish, nice balance. We can bring the club down to chest high, but keep in this position at the end of the swing. The more connected your movement is, the better a balance you will have. The better a balance you have at the finish of the swing, the better a balance you would have had at impact. So next time you're out practicing, keep this movement together in the first part of the swing. Let's not have the club face rolling open or hooding under. So we stay nice and connected. It gives a nice feeling of a solid movement. So we together, we rotate through, we hold the finish, and get used to creating that consistent move away from the golf ball. I hope that helps you. Get out onto the driving range, give it a go. If you want to see some more videos to help you improve your golf, head on over to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, there's loads of great videos there, and that hopefully will help you improve your golf.